Howdy guys, how's it going? So today we are going to be taking a look at this year's hunting belt kit and small lightweight backpack loadout. I've put together 3 primary hunting loadouts for this year. I've got my belt kit, which is designed to just be like a quick day hunt type setup, really just like what you take with you in the morning, you come back, or you go in the evening, you come back, but it's set up that in the event you need to stay overnight, you can do so pretty comfortably, especially by most survival standards and stuff that we have done in the past camp-wise, especially if you have a decent amount of bushcraft knowledge and skills. The other 2 pack loadouts I'll be doing is a full-on backpack style loadout with my Wise Sport 55-liter reindeer bag. And then the other loadout will be more of a planned, base camp setup, either one-day overnighter or multi-day overnighter hunt camp setup. And we'll be using all of these, and I'll be demonstrating, each individual aspect and how you would utilize the components for an overnighter, whether it's planned or not. So we're getting ready to start muzzleloading season tomorrow, and that's why I got the muzzleloader out on the blanket. The one thing that I did not put on is the leg holster I'll be using, because in order to wear this comfortably, you need to wear a leg holster. Anytime you have a hip belt that's going to be sitting down on your waist, having a holster like I'm wearing right now just does not allow that. So now the first thing, I guess we should talk about like what I normally wear. That is going to change and is very temperature dependent. One constant I tend to wear is this bearskin fleece hoodie. Like right now I just have on a true classic moisture wicking long sleeve underneath. I think the temperature right now is around 52 degrees, so it's a pretty warm day, and we're directly in the sunlight, which is not helping with the recording due to the shadows, but it is what it is. I like to always wear a shemagh, just a good way to cover your face, keep your face warm. The reason I like to go with the bearskin hoodie, and this is the bearskin hoodie 3.0, their newest release this year. As far as fleece goes, it's one of the most windproof fleeces that I've found, and I always like to utilize all the pockets on this bad boy. So anything that I think I'll need to get to, super quick, that's small, or that I feel like I might drop or lose, I like to stick normally in the chest pockets, because with the belt rig on, it tends to cover up your access to these 2 hand pockets here. But once you're sit down wherever you're going to be hunting, then you can take certain components out. That way you ain't got to be messing with buckles or zippers. It's got a large hood, keeps your ears warm, you can cinch it down, all of that good old stuff. Then I tend to always have on cargo pants of some kind, mainly military type BDUs, or like these White Duck outdoor pants. Since I'm gonna have my drop leg holster on my right leg, this is my medical pocket, because I've got a 6-inch Israeli bandage, quick clot, and compressed gauze in this pocket that I always carry in case I slice my hand or arm open or something. But then I take and move that over to the left pocket and take my fire kit that I carry in my left cargo pocket and put it somewhere else. And then all other clothing options vary. I'm gonna be doing a pretty extensive video on my personal winter layering and clothing systems that I use, and that I have been using and testing for the past few months now, and we'll be rolling it on over into winter. Okay, so one thing to mention is, so that is the same belt kit, and this is one of the same backpacks that if you're familiar with any of the other belt kit camping videos we've done, that we've used before. That is the One Thief. I got that belt. That is a military surplus belt and pouches, most all of which are from OneThiefSurplus.com. This right here is my Able Carry rainproof backpack. Used it a good bit. I like using these 2 together because this pack sits perfectly high enough on my back whenever I'm carrying it that it doesn't interfere with any of the pouches or that back sustainment pouch that hangs down on the belt kit. On the back of the bag, I've got the Valclaws Generation 2 pack frame. Most of the time people just associate something like this with summertime use, because this is to help increase ventilation between your back and the pack. But it's really important if you're moving and hiking in the wintertime to prevent sweating. That way you don't freeze to death whenever you get to wherever you're going to hunker down and look for the white-tailed beauties. Then something I'm trying out for the first time this year is this Hydro Pack collapsible water bottle. This is 17 ounce. So my biggest issue is I'm somebody, I like to chug water. I drink water constantly without even thinking about it. And that always leads to me, you know, sitting there for a couple hours crossing my legs like a lady having to pee. So I'm going to try to limit myself to just this 17 ounces between, you know, getting there and while I'm just chilling and waiting. That way to hopefully avoid that issue. Then right here on the side pocket, you got a cubic titanium trowel, just in case you have to make a pit stop at some point on the way back. On the side pocket here, I have got four fatty cheese-filled meat sticks. These things are next level, guys. If you've not tried these so far, do yourself a favor and give them a go. Not something I would eat while I'm sitting there waiting, you know, waiting and watching, but very nice to have on the hike back, or in the event you found yourself needing to, you know, stay a night over. You've got a little bit of food to sustain yourself. Another thing you could throw in there, which I might do, is I love the Range meal bars. They're 700 calories per bar, really dense, and there's really no reason not to have one in this, so that's something I think I will throw in here. So now jumping in, there is not many complex components. There's actually only a total of 2, technically 3 components in here. So this is my quick camo camouflage suit. This right here can just slip over clothing. Some of the best, lightest weight camouflage I've come across so far. I'll throw up a picture of me wearing it. I've done an Instagram reel a while back of like sitting in different locations, different types of foliage. This is the cap, which has a face mask. As you can see, it's that leafy type. Almost, it's like a ghillie suit. It's like a 2-piece ghillie suit essentially, or 3-piece counting the hat. So if I'm in an area where I feel like I'm not that concealed, but it looks like a great spot with good activity, then I'll take and slip this on, and I'm going to use this a good bit this year regardless. And then the only other thing I got in here is my Lester River Bushcraft wool Boreal / anorak shirt, or maybe it's Boreal anorak shirt. You know, this thing is an absolute beast. It will cook you out of your skin in no time. Okay, and that is everything that is in the backpack. So let's hop on over to the belt kit. Okay, so here is the padded Molly waist belt with these suspenders. Once again, I got pretty much all these pouches except for, you know, the My Medic and my Vault Can pouch. So those 3 pouches from OneThiefSurplus.com. We'll start over here on the left, which is the most important piece of equipment in a hunting kit, in my opinion, is the IFAK. This is a My Medic TFAK. I've opened this up before and showed it before, but out here we've got the rat tourniquet. I've also got a cat tourniquet in this pouch over here, so I'll show you guys that. But this has got everything you need to, you know, stop major trauma. We've got bleed stop, we've got Israeli bandage on top of, you know, the 6-inch that I carry in my pocket and the extra quick clot. So pretty much as long as you're conscious, you could handle any major bleeding issue, even multiple major bleeding issues with this kit right here. If you've been here since the beginning, then you know what this is. This is my Vault Can titanium canteen cook set. Use this thing non-stop pretty much since I started doing this full time. You've got your titanium canteen, you've got the 750 ml canteen cup, then you've got a 400 ml canteen, another canteen cup with a handle, which is really good for making like a side dish, like, you know, I like to make instant potatoes, rice, things like that in it. Plus you have the lid, and then in the front you have the wire hangers, and I keep some tea in there. If I'm carrying this by itself, I'll throw water purification tablets and things of that nature in there. And I mean, if you want to see this whole kit in action, you can just watch most any of my past videos and it'll show up here, there, and everywhere. So now hopping in to this woodland sustainment pouch, And there's plenty of room left in this because, once again, depending on where I'm going, what exactly it is I'm doing, I may swap some things out or add a few things. This is also where I'll throw in like my wool glove liners if I don't want to put those in my pocket. So right here I have my CAMPCRAFT outdoor wax canvas sitting pad. I believe it's 3 feet by 3 feet. I use this a lot. It's if the ground's, moist at all from any previous rain, or if it's just like a warmer day, there's a lot of dew on the ground, and I just want to, find a spot underneath a tree at the edge of a field, throw this on the ground, sit on it. You ain't got to worry about your butt getting wet. Got a thing of combat wipes. Once again, if you need to stop and take a pit stop at some point, or you have an emergency, that and that trowel go together. Plus, those are nice to have too whenever you're processing a deer. If you're somewhere where you got to gut the deer, you can use those to wipe your hands off so you don't get blood all over your gear. Okay, and a titanium tin here from County Comms. I have got my fire kit, but since there was room at the top, I've got a bunch of AquaTab water purification tablets. Each one of these does a liter of water. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I've got 20 of those. So that's 20 liters right there. Then I've got an atomic barrier ferro rod. It's got an emergency whistle on it. And then I have got fire plugs. So that right there is easy, guaranteed fire every single time, and guaranteed clean water. So now my main option for cordage is this roll of jute twine that is, a pretty hefty size hank. Now, if you're not super familiar, as long as you buy a high quality level of jute twine, this stuff is plenty strong enough for shelter building. I've strung up 10 by 12 tarps that's went through extremely heavy rain and wind, and this stuff did not break. Plus, it's a good fire starting option. I do like to carry paracord and Kevlar cord and things of that nature. But since this is just meant to be like a quick day hike type kit, or like, day hunt kit, that's more than enough. Here is a very awesome multifunctional piece of kit. So this is the Hideout Thermo poncho, bivy, hammock cover. And whenever you have it in the bivy configuration or in the poncho configuration, it has a zip-in bug net around the head. This is made by Bushman Travel Gear. Amazing company. They're based out of Poland. I did a video using this as a bivy. If I can remember, I'll link that down. If not, just go on my channel, you'll find it. This thing, as small as it packs down, the inside has a thermo-reflective material, 100% waterproof. Unlike other ponchos and things like that, this thing zips up, so you can fully enclose yourself in the bivy form. When you use it as a poncho, you can zip the sides all the way up, unlike, a normal poncho that just has like the button snaps and can, if it's really windy, blowing rain, the things along your sides and stuff will get wet. So, all around, and you can also use this as a lean-to shelter. It's got that reflective material, so you could, if you had a fire in front of you, that would reflect the heat down onto you. And this just takes the place of having an individual poncho, an individual bivy, and an individual emergency blanket. So highly recommend that. And that is everything that is in that center sustainment pouch. Now, going over here, I believe this is called the large general purpose USMC pouch, if I remember correctly. So this has a good bit of goodies in it. So now I tried to organize this pretty much in the fashion that I think I would end up using these components. Right here at the very top, I've got my Science Sky headlamp. It's got a floodlight, it's got a straight beam spotlight, and then it also has a red light option. Hiking in, hiking out, early, late at night, you're going to need that. This thing has a crazy long battery life. It's rechargeable. And I got a power bank and a paracord in here that all these things fit the same deal. So like all my camera and recording stuff is USB Type-C. This is USB Type-C. My phone's USB Type-C. So one cable, one power bank covers it all. right here along the side. This, like, I've got a ton of knives that I could have used for this purpose. At first I was going to use my Odin Wolf knife, but then I want to take out and test. This is a knife that I got in one of my battle boxes. You know, it's a thinner, if that'll focus. Okay, that is not wanting to focus for some reason. But anyways, it's a thinner type blade, and this would be a great skinning knife, I believe. And so that's what its main purpose would be if you needed to, like, quickly gut a deer while you're out. But I think it's sharp enough and it's sturdy enough, it seems, to where it could easily handle, you know, carving, feather sticks, all that. I would only baton, you know, smaller diameter things if you needed to get to the center for drier wood and wet conditions. But this pouch has a little pocket right here on the side, and this slides down and clips in perfectly. So that's another reason I went with this, was the thinner profile. Here in the back, I have got some Noo Patches, just a small X one in case I get just a relatively small rip, and then this larger one which you can cut to size, or, you know, if you had a large rip down, you know, the inseam of your pants or something, you could close it up. Or if you needed to use that bivy in inclement weather and something was to happen and it ripped, you could throw this on top as well. I've got a Sharpener multifunctional knife sharpener. You've got this sharpening wedge, which is if you have, you know, some pretty extensive damage to the blade or it's just very dull. Then you got the ceramic wedge there to really hone your blade, and so as you're using it, if it starts to get dull, you can just, you know, swipe it through there a few times. That right there is a pull-out ferro rod, very tiny, but better than nothing. And then here you have a diamond rod, which is good for sharpening serrated blades. Or you could kind of use that on the saw blade on our multi-tool that we carry in our pocket. And I almost forgot, it does have a whistle, which is plenty loud. Okay, I'm sure y'all are all familiar. I've also got a Sawyer water filter. You know, the water purification tablets is what I would go with this kit, because I would be constantly moving. But if you was to, you know, camp out by a water source, or let's say there was a puddle or something, you wanted immediate, or you needed immediate access to drinking water, then you could just whip this out. And I've not even looked. I'm not positive, and I don't want to, that's got water in it, so I don't want to deal with getting that off right now. But this may or may not even fit on the threads of that collapsible Hydro Pack bottle. If it did, that would be great, so then you could fill that up, squeeze it in, filter that much faster. Here is our power bank, absolute ton of power. I can't remember how many, I can't remember the exact size of this one. Wait, it says right there, yeah, 20,000 milliamp hours. So large battery. Got the UCO collapsible lantern here. You can take and adjust the brightness of it just by holding it. You can dim it. Very lightweight, very nice little lantern to have. Here we have got a very nifty product. This is made by Okupa, or Okupa, I believe is how you pronounce it. But this is an electronic hand warmer that breaks apart into 2 pieces. So you can turn these on individually. It's going to be very hard to see. And you can adjust the heat level, and these things warm up like just right away. Turn those off, or you can use it as a single hand warmer if you have like a hoodie style pocket. But I like to break these off, and you can just hold on to them. And the lowest heat setting is more enough for me. Like normally I don't even need to use this. And on the lowest heat setting, it'll last for hours. Okay, so here at the bottom, I got 3 things. Here is the USB-C charging cable. That was kind of on the side, but it worked its way down. To go along with those Noo Patches, this right here is my personal sewing kit. You know, in this got needles, thread, and a roll of SOL duct tape. And this is larger than necessary, really. I've been planning on redoing this. It's really lightweight, though, so no reason not to carry it. And last year, I ripped my pants right down the crotch, like almost down to the knee, on a hike back, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But things like that can happen, and when it's cold, you want to have a way to mend whatever type of clothing it is you're wearing, because you want to keep the elements out as much as possible. And then finally, in that pouch, this right here is another titanium product from CountyCom. This is, I think they call this their Volt. In this, I've got, let me make sure I can see that. I've got electrolyte tablets, Benadryl, 600 milligram ibuprofen, and hydroxyzine. A great thing to throw in there would be some which I did have in here, was anti-diarrhea medication. So I will add that back to this. This thing is only half-life, and I've got some cotton in the cap. It was to keep it from shaking, but because things have been took out of this and used, which means that, you know, this stuff is good to have with you from time to time. I will replace those. But that is everything in that pouch. Okay, now finally we got this one right here, which is right at our right hand side, and you will see why. So first thing, whenever you open this up, here is our cat tourniquet. You know, tried and true, always good to have. If things was immediately, you know, recognize that it was immediately going to be life or death arterial bleeding, then you could pull this out. I got it in the combat configuration. You just whip it out and you can slide it on, or if it's a thigh, like for me personally, I'm flexible enough, I can just, in that configuration, put it on my leg. Okay, in the little front mesh pocket here, I've got some electrolyte banana bag drinks in case, you know, I feel like I'm depleted in that area, so I can, you know, just whip those out, throw them in that water bottle, shake it up, be good to go. And then something new that I'm using this year, and I really like these. This is Deadshot by a company called Wildfit. It's essentially like a pixie stick pack of stuff, like of a supplement blend that helps calm and focus. So it's like a little energy shot, but not like the kind that's going to make you jittery, which is the last thing you want whenever you're trying to, you know, steady your rifle or bow and take a shot. I've actually got another packet in there, so I'd keep 2 or 3 of those with me. Just got a pair of binoculars. This is an old Bushnell pair. I've got a large pair of binoculars, but I don't have a good case to carry it, and it's really not that necessary because I tend to hunt like in the woods and in sections where the longest shot you would probably get is 100 to 150 yards. Normally it's well within 100 yards. But you know, once it starts to get just a wee bit darker, it's nice to be able to have these just to confirm and pick out which potential deer you want to go with if you got a bunch moving together. And then finally, I've got a go rangefinder. Not super necessary, but if you're in a very hilly landscape area, it can be nice to, you know, have a good idea of the range from where you and the deer is. And that's really important with different type of weapon setups, because I do love to hunt iron sights a lot. So, you know, if you don't have an optic already, then just getting that overall idea of the distance can really help you place a solid shot with iron sights. Well guys, that is everything in the belt kit loadout, and you know, the small pack. That small pack is really just to carry those 2 large items, but the system works very well together. Walked around with it, hiked around with it a good bit, except for the Hydro Pack water bottle is very, like, I just have got it. So, you know, we'll see how that holds up, and how the like plastic neck piece that's designed for hanging, how it holds up. But I would love to hear your thoughts. You know, different gear for different regions of the country, different types of game you're hunting, you know, all that type of stuff will come into play. So you have to, you know, adjust this accordingly to where you live and what exactly it is you're hunting. And when it comes to the other loadouts, I'll be doing some of this gear, you know, will be following into those other kits, but I've actually got a lot of more, you know, detail specific different gear for those kits and for what I will be doing. So, you know, if you're interested in this, keep your eye out. Make sure that you're subscribed and got the notification bell on so that you'll get that notification when those videos drop. Because I got some cool stuff that I'll also be testing out for the first time this season. So we can do that together. But yeah, guys, as always, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please hit me up in the comments with your thoughts and opinions. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you hadn't already. Share the channel and the videos with your friend, family, anybody that enjoys good old outdoor activities. And until the next one, adios.